Classic TV fans, Rick9G here. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about the Munsters, more specifically about one of the most beloved characters on the Munsters, Eddie Munster. And we'll talk about a little bit of the costume and makeup changes that took place during the course of the series, especially in the beginning when they were trying to figure out who the character was and so forth. I've already talked about Herman Munster and the changes they made to him, and this will be a fairly quick episode, but the one that I am going to focus on today is called My Fair Munster. Now, it's from season 1, it's episode 2, and it aired October 1st, 1964. Now, what's great about this one, the whole topic focuses, or the whole show focuses on a love potion. Now, this is a love potion that Herman and Lily accidentally take, and they become seductive and irresistible to others unexpectedly, of course. And it's pretty funny all in all. If you haven't seen this one, you should really check it out. Now, again, this is in the early infancy of the show. We don't have Pat Priest in this one. We have Beverly Owens in this one, and she is in the first 13 episodes, so therefore she's in this one before Pat Priest comes and permanently takes over for her in the role of Marilyn Munster. But as I mentioned, I want to focus on Eddie Munster. Now, believe it or not, there isn't much footage of Eddie Munster in this actual episode. In fact, there isn't a lot of story to him. He's in it, but it's not heavy-wise focused on him. But every single scene with him in it, you'll notice something very unique about it. And I'll show you essentially some images of pretty much every scene that he's in. I don't know if you notice any pattern or anything that is pretty much similar in all of these. Well, in each of them, he does have a widow's peak, and the widow's peak goes along with his character, of course, Dracula and being a vampire himself. The idea of that is part of his look. That's how his hair comes down. But if you don't know, there is actually a huge blooper in this episode. Now, in the original film version of My Fair Munster, now the unaired pilot, Eddie does not, I repeat, does not have a widow's peak. But you may ask, Rick, throughout this whole episode, he had a widow's peak. So what's up with that? Why is there that discrepancy? Well, all the scenes of Eddie were reshot after the producers decided to change his character a little bit and make the character one that has a widow's peak to his hair. So essentially, the episode was filmed with him having no widow's peak, and then they were like, you know what? He really needs to have one, and they put one on him except for one scene. And it's a quick one that you may not have known. I'll show you as much of it as possible and even blow up some of the images. But the scene where Eddie's being chased home by love-struck young girls, that one, they didn't refilm that one, or they didn't reshoot it. And so therefore, in this one, you can see that there's no widow's peak and his hair is completely different. Now, I want to know how many of you knew this, how many of you might be surprised by this, but also check and take a look at Grandpa Munster. He has a huge nose. In fact, it's a prosthetic nose, and this is the only time that we really see him with this nose. Later on, they removed it. They just thought it looked a little weird, a little awkward, and it was a little cumbersome for what they were doing, so they just decided to remove it. So this is pretty much the only episode with that difference here. So let me know if you've seen this episode. Let me know if you're a fan of the Munsters, or are maybe you a bigger fan of the Addams Family. I've covered both shows. I have links in the description if you want to take a look at all the videos I made on each show. Which one do you like more? Which one do you like best, and why? I love to read your comments down below. We'll see you all next time. Thanks for all the support, and most importantly, never forget, be hopeful. Thank you so much to my supporters, especially my Diamond Tier patrons, Terry Y, Jerry D, Citizen Kane, Jennifer P, David D, Kevin K, Sally N, and Vito L. If you want to be on this patron list, go check the links in the description for a wonderful way that you can support the channel. Thank you.